Dental Fuel, the podcast that focuses on what no one else is talking about: mistakes. The dental world is full of before and afters, and no one is talking about the middle. Dental Fuel brings you the unspoken in between. Welcome back to another episode of Dental Fuel. Dental Fuel is brought to you by 90 Day Jumpstart, a program to help you increase production and break free from financial stress. In Dr. Redfar's expert advice, he provides insight into mindful activities like dancing to help underscore the mental, emotional, and physical health issues that come with practicing dentistry. I truly enjoyed this part of our conversation and think you will too. Let's check it out. If you have any additional advice that you would like to share with our listeners, we would love to hear it.
We're all going through something called burnout. Right. I think everybody's talking about how they want to work a little bit less, but make the same money, and expenses are going up and all these things. And how do we deal with burnout? It starts with working on yourself. And what does that mean? That doesn't mean that just you read one book or listen to a podcast and you figured everything out in your life. Because at the end of the day, if your personal life, there's some childhood trauma, there's a divorce that you're going through, there's guilt because you're a parent and you missed the recital of your kid because you had to go into the office because no one else, you couldn't cancel your day and the school just put this on you. We have all this shame and guilt and negative energy that we sometimes feel. We need to understand how to handle that. Relationship coaches, communication, business coaches can really help. Reading books and podcasts and doing work on yourself and putting that into action. I believe communication is one of the most important things. And if you know how to communicate with a little bit more empathy and compassion and kindness, the universe starts falling into place. And when I teach people how to do sleep apnea and snoring, and I do consulting and coaching after they take my courses, one of the biggest things I do is I bring experts who talk about, how the CPAP doesn't work and why, and then how the mouthpiece works, how BiPAP works, and how all these surgeries called Inspire and Triple UP. And then the last 15 minutes is someone coming in talking about what happens when a patient tells you you are not good, something's wrong, I want a refund. How do you why do some people take that personally? That can burn you out. That's the emotional stress that we are hearing, is because we're putting so much pressure on ourselves in our lives. I still see 25, 30 patients a day. It was the same thing 10 years ago. It's the same thing today. So nothing's changed. I'm still doing the same dentistry. So why do I feel burnt out? It's because we're emotionally starving for something better, something happier. And that starts within yourself. So I always say, you're working on your practice, you work on your skills, but are you working on your mind and on your heart? And the way you do that is YouTube has so many things on how to gain more confidence, how to handle my ego, how to not get so angry. I mean, there's so many things. And of course, there's professionals too that you can pay to help with that.
What are some ways that Dr. Red, how do you manage burnout?
That's a good question. I definitely try to, whenever I get anxious, I show more gratitude. So I text, call a friend, a family member, someone that I love, and tell them I really appreciate them in my life. Completely random. It could be at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday when 3 things have gone wrong. The modem's not working. The server's out, and there's a case that's missing. And I'm trying to today's going to be a fun day. It's not even Monday. And I just go straight towards gratitude. And when I'm having a hard evening, when I come home, there's stuff coming at me at home because we're always being attacked. I write down in my journal 10 things that I'm really grateful for. I know it sounds a little soft, but actually that's what emotional maturity, I believe, is when we actually show gratitude towards ourselves and what we have, because the mind can't be anxious and grateful at the same time, and in that degree of anxiousness. And the universe doesn't want you to live in fear. So every time I'm angry, sad, I have fear of anything, I know, some bad things are going to keep coming at me unless I go towards the energy of love and empathy, compassion, and kindness. So I try to just give with no expectations in return. And usually it makes me feel a lot better just giving that kind of energy that's not so fear-based.
I love that. I have found that as well whenever I feel, anxious or a little bit overwhelmed, finding ways to express gratitude helps my mind just give that shift that mindset, and really just kind of helps change your mood, and it helps you become a better person, and gives you just a friendly reminder as to why you got into dentistry and why you're doing what you're doing. And, reminding yourself that sometimes it does get a little bit crazy, but at the end of craziness, sometimes a lull comes, and that lull is always very rewarding.
Yep. Yeah. You have to
Dr. Red,
also, you have to also, I love that you know all about that. And I think when people want to learn a little bit more about how to improve themselves, don't just talk and say that you're manifesting, act it, do it, write down. It's not easy grabbing a journal every day, writing 5 to 10 things you're grateful for when your mind is consistently thinking of, I got to do this, I got to do that. And I feel you all, I get it. But get consistent at it. It'll make you much happier.
journaling is hard, but I think that the act of writing things down and being able to go back and read it and reflect on it, I think is really rewarding. And it can feel a little silly, it kind of throws back to when we were maybe children and the Dear Diary-esque of life. But I think that it can be really rewarding, especially, writing things that you're grateful for or goals that you've accomplished and that you've, finally made it to. I think that can be really, really great for our own spirits and lives. But Dr. Red, I think I peeped on your CV that you have some kind of dancing background. How does dancing come into play with you in mindfulness?
So I'm a big believer in masculine and feminine energies. And so masculine energy is when we lead, we make decisions, we protect, we provide, and we all, men and women, have that in us. And then there's a part of us that's feminine energy, and men have feminine energy, and that's a little bit more compassion, empathy, the arts, music, dancing. I think dancing allows for me it's my meditation. It's my happy place. Music is emotion. So I don't like the hardcore, explicit lyric kind of music, because that gets me a little bit more angry and riled up. I like the more melodic, fun, dancing kind of music, Spanish music, electronic music. That gets me a little bit more in a happy-go-lucky spirit, brings out the playfulness and the kid in me. And that's my form of, I call, meditation, and my form of expressing my feminine energy, which I'm very proud of and enjoy. I try to go out dancing at least a couple times a month, depending on the month and depending on the city or country I'm in. I usually like to go and experience dancing when I'm in another country. I find a club, a bar, a concert, and experience their culture and the way I see that when you go there and you look at the environment and the energy, it's like when you go to some sort of religious event, it's such a hopeful, faithful thing. In dancing, it's just such a fun energy. People are just having a good time. And I think we need to have a little bit of that in our lives on the days that, to counterbalance the days that are not as fun and dancing.
I have really enjoyed our conversation, but I have loved just the way that we've summed up and the message that you are sharing here at the end to myself and to our listeners. If our listeners would like to connect with you, what's the best way?
Yeah, so if it's a course that you want to take, it's radseminar.com. I'm also on social media. I've won the best Facebook influencer award last year in 2022.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
I've created some fun, silly videos and some ones that are serious about sleep and whatnot. So Dr. Rad Health is my handle. You can reach me through that as well. I answer all my own DMs. Anything I could help you all with in growing in not only the business professional world, but in the personal world, I'm at your service.
Dr. Rad, thank you so much for your time. And to practice what we were just saying, I am very grateful for you spending time with me today, sharing your story, just sharing that gratitude towards you as a practitioner and someone who wants to share their message to all dentists who are practicing. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Blessed and honored to have to be on this. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to our conversation with Dr. Dar Radfar. You can find him on Instagram at dr.radhealth.
He has some excellent posts about his journey and more insights on mindfulness in dentistry. We hope you'll join us next time here at Dental Fuel with another guest. If you're looking to grow your practice and need some help along the way, be sure to check out 90 Day Jumpstart. You can start for free by contacting Dr. David Rice. Check out the link to his Calendly in the show notes.